Welcome to the 2017 Quality Hotel West Cork Rally, round 2 of the Clonakilty Black Pudding Irish Tarmac Rally Championship. The stunning surrounds of West Cork, with its dramatic backdrop, provides a scene for an event that is relatively new to the Irish Tarmac scene, as only in 2015 did it become a counting round of the Irish Tarmac Rally Championship for the first time. A dull grey start to the weekend in Clonakilty, but there was plenty of colour on display, with music and a parade to commemorate the rally's 40th anniversary and to mark the centenary of Henry Ford registering his factory in Cork City in 1917. Henry Ford has roots in Ballinascarthy, and the Cork Motor Club entered a motorcade of Fords, old and new, in their St Patrick's Day parade. We'll have more of that later on in the programme. But on we go to the West Cork Rally and the ceremonial start in Clonakilty. Breed was on hand to speak to the main participants.
It's been 40 years since the first West Cork Rally ran back in 1977, and here we are on this St Patrick's night, gathered in the heart of Clonakilty for the ceremonial start of this infamous event. This is also the home of our Irish Tarmac Championship sponsor this year, as this counts as the second round in the Clonakilty Black Pudding Irish Tarmac Championship.
And first through, the Ford Focus of Donna Kelly, winner in West Cork for the past 3 years.
If we could do 4 in a row, it's going to take the next one 5 years to better it, you know. So let's see what happens, but I think it could be an R5 rally.
That remains to be seen as Kelly rolls away, and we greet the championship leader Alistair Fisher in his Ford Fiesta R5.
It's a very tough rally, you know, perhaps one of the toughest of the championship, to be honest. Hopefully we can get settled in the morning and get into a good rhythm.
One of Fisher's main rivals is sure to be the Fiesta of Sam Moffat.
Yeah, one step better this year would be fantastic. We're not here for anything less, and we're going to try and bring it to the guys here. There's any of us can win here, and I think it's going to be whoever gets up tomorrow morning the earliest and see how we go.
Sam reckons it's the person that gets up earliest in the morning is going to get this lead tomorrow. Have you got your clock set?
I don't know. I think it's the Irish quickest over the stage, but yeah, it's not going to be easy. Like Sam always pushes us fairly hard, so yeah, hopefully we can do the business.
Josh Moffat is the current Motorsport Ireland Young Rally Driver of the Year recipient, as we get the chance to see a car that's new to the Irish scene, the Hyundai i20 R5, making its debut at the hands of Dubliner Robert Barrable.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see a new car, Hyundai, back on the stages in Ireland. So yeah, it's exciting. And
as Barrable rolls away, this is a chance to see what the competitors face on day 1 of the West Cork Rally. The classic ring stage opens up proceedings on day 1 and will also be stage 3 on this year's event. Stages 2 and 4 sees the cars and crews move east for the run over Dunworley. The Ardfield stage is runs 5 and 7 on a busy first day on this 2-day event. North of Ardfield is the Hayes Cross stage, which will see the cars and drivers traverse stages 6 and 8. The final stage and run 9 on day 1 is the Sam's Cross stage, run just once on the Saturday, but in the dark before the overnight halt back in Clonakilty. And so to the opening stage at Ring. The nervous tension of the crews is palpable as they await the start of what's a demanding 2 days and 15 tough stages await.
We're out on the classic ring stage, the first of 9 challenging stages today, and preparing to lead the way in that challenging R5 class is Alistair Fisher.
First away, however, is the Ford Focus World Rally car of the number 1 seed Donna Kelly, winner of the last 3 runnings of the West Cork. Kelly's not involved in the championship, as World Rally cars cannot collect points, but they can win individual events, and the Donegal driver is determined to make it 4 in a row. And Kelly was on it from the off, but not by much, as the R5s behind him kept him honest, and at the end of the opening 4 stages his lead was just 4.4 seconds.
And 3 right go. 3 right pushed, 40. Flat 3 left. Into flat 3 right, 80. Long 4 left, push. Small tightens. Power early, 60, flat 2 left.
There are beautiful, fast-flowing and thankfully dry opening stages on the West Cork, and Kelly not in the mood to give up his crown to the new pretenders behind, despite using tyres he said were too soft. Sam Moffat was to provide the early opposition to Kelly on the opening stages, 3rd on stage 1, but just 0.7 in arrears. He was up to 2nd by stage 2, and by the end of stage 4 the gap to him and Kelly had been pushed out to just over 4 seconds. It's one heck of a busy season for Sam Moffat, as he's also competing in the one-day national series in the Ford Fiesta, where he also leads, having won the opening 2 rounds in Neenah and Longford. This is our first look at the Hyundai i20 in action, driven by Dubliner Robert Barrable. The former Young Racing Driver of the Year was 3rd in Galway on round 1 in the R5 class, and he was hoping to emulate his father Michael, who was also a winner of the West Cork Rally back in 2007 in a Ford Focus. Barrable was 2nd after stage 1, but found the stages at Dunworley a lot bumpier than the first stage at Ring, and Barrable reckoned he needed to make a few tweaks to the suspension of his Hyundai. An all-new black livery for Josh Moffat in his Ford Fiesta in his last Irish event before competing in the European Rally Championship. The younger Moffat sibling claimed that he wasn't on it over the opening 4 stages and was 4th overall and 3rd in R5, 24.7 seconds behind Kelly, but still very much in contention early on.
60, 4 left minus, watch it, and 6 right and 6 left, 154. 6 left through the cross was okay, into caution, half long, late 5 right, minus 70, 4 left.
Not the best of starts, however, for our championship leader Alistair Fisher in his Ford Fiesta, who was only 6th after the opening Ring stage. No issue with the car, he claimed, as he and co-driver Gordon Noble were doing nothing wrong and doing nothing different in the car, so they said. Fisher was up to 5th by stage 2 and stayed there by the end of stage 4. From Monaghan, Stephen Wright, who was 6th in another Fiesta, 1 or 2 early problems.
We were stuck in front wheel drive, so the car was surprisingly good considering, but we hemorrhaged a lot of time in there. The wheels were spinning in 3rd and 4th gear, so disappointing start, but we got it sorted for the 2nd stage.
Donegal's Joe McGonigal warmed up his Skoda Fabia for the West Cork by taking a win on the recent Mayo Stages rally, and it stood to him as he and co-driver Kieran Keeney were 7th after the opening 4 stages. Next through in 8th, the Welsh pairing Thomas and Uric Davis in their Fiesta R5.
Long, fast, bumpy, 3 left, 250 down. Fast, 2 left, 180 down. Towards 7 left at the chevron. 150, long 7 right. And hairpin left, narrows, keep it neat. And flat 4 right.
20 seconds behind the Welsh pairing in 9th were Brendan Comiskey and navigator Ronan O'Kane in their Skoda Fabia R5. Comiskey said he found the front of his Fiesta R5 to be, in his own words, very choppy on the opening stages. No time to take in the scenery for 10th place Kevin Kelleher in the 2nd of the World Rally cars in the top 10. His Subaru Impreza slid from 5th on the opening stage to 10th on the leaderboard by 2nd service, and he arrived in clouds of smoke, a blown turbocharger the culprit. Just outside the top 10, the Supermax Fiesta of Aaron McHale, looking to regain his confidence after a big off in the opening round in Galway. Pádraig Duffy and Kevin Glynn were 12th in their Ford Fiesta R5. Duffy coming from Australia to compete on the West Cork Rally. Away from the World Rally and R5 cars, there's a rally within a rally, and these were the leading competitors in the national class, and a good start for the Ford Escort of Brian Brogan, who led early on. beautiful overhead shot of Brogan as he powers through the early tests to take the lead in the Nationals by the end of the opening 4 stages. Gary Kiernan felt the brakes on his Escort were not working the best in the early part of this year's event, but he had them sorted out by first service, and that helped Kiernan, winner of the opening round in Galway, into second place. There's a thumbs up from Kevin Eves with navigator William Lynch in their Toyota Corolla as they launched themselves into this year's event. And by the end of stage 4, they were third, 6 seconds exactly behind Kiernan. A decent start as well from Eugene Megan and Sarah Whelan in their BMW. Having debuted the car in Galway, the pair were getting into the groove on the West Cork, and they were 4th after 4 stages.
Right 100. Crest into 3 left, don't cut now. 40. 1 right long, 250 up. Mud, 1 right. 40. 2 left over crest.
Damien Tourish had a small overshoot early on, which dropped his Escort to 5th on the national class. Tourish had a great opening round in Galway and was the long-time leader before being caught in the latter stages by the hard-charging Kiernan. Some spectacular sideways action from Patrick McHugh now, enough to put his Escort 6th. Adrian Hetherington reckoned that some of the early stages were a little greasy, a sentiment echoed by some of the drivers on the international class as well. He was 7th in nationals. Mick Cody counts down his driver Frank Kelly in their Ford Escort Mark II. But it was to be an early end and a sad end to the West Cork Rally because of differential failure. And so to service at the end of stage 4, and all sorts of transport on view, including a rally official on a bike heading to service. Time to take on sustenance then before heading out on the day's remaining 5 stages, and a new pedestrian bridge added by the club at 5 o'clock that morning. All hands on deck, it seems, as Breed caught up with the leaders in the national class.
Only 4 stages down and the technical stuff on it, there's still a lot to do in the afternoon, and I wouldn't be too complacent yet. I know we still need to keep going.
We're still second. We lost another 3 to Brian Brogan. Kevin was quickest on the stage just after service, but we got another 6 out of him, so it's all to play for.
And this the leaderboard then after 4 stages of this year's West Cork Rally. It's Donna Kelly who leads. He's got a 4.4 second lead from Sam Moffat. 3rd Robert Barrable, ahead of Josh Moffat and Alistair Fisher.
It's still early days here in Clonakilty, and when we take a look at the times, not one of the drivers are running away with that lead. Join us after the break for more action from the Quality Hotels West Cork Rally.
Welcome back to the Quality Hotel West Cork Rally, round 2 of the Clonakilty Black Pudding Irish Tarmac Rally Championship, and the remaining 5 stages on day 1, which includes the 9th stage at Sam's Cross. The Cork Motor Club, which runs this year's event, has put a lot of effort into organising a gathering of Ford cars from throughout the years to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the first running of the West Cork Rally. Fords, old and new, gathered at the monument to Henry Ford's family roots in Ballinascarty, where we spoke to motor enthusiast Father Pat O'Donovan about his 1914 Model T Ford.
Johnny O'Connor bought an automobile. He took his sweetheart for a ride one Sunday.
It is a late 1914 car. It came off the production in Detroit, Michigan in approximately September, October of 1914. The car has given me a lot of pleasure over the years. I have driven it many thousands of miles, both here in Ireland and across actually in the UK. And I use it here in Ireland, particularly around at home, just for my own pleasure.
A gentle, serene run for that Model T Ford around the back roads of West Cork, in total contrast to the speed and acceleration of the Modern World Rally and R5 cars up at the top of the leaderboard on this year's event. Thankfully, the wet conditions which prevailed on the opening round in Galway are absent here on day one. It's grey, dull overhead and a little misty, but thankfully mostly dry on the stages as we head into the last runs of the opening day. The leader is through, and over stages 5 through 8, Donna Kelly kept his overall lead in the event in his World Rally car, and after 8, his lead 25.1 seconds.
20 past the junction, 3 left minus, deep in 80, 1 right past the yellow wall, 60, 1 right 40, down to long, 5 right opens and stones.
Sam Moffat held on to the lead in the R5 category in his Fiesta and reported no problems over the stages with his car. Robert Barrable had discovered a burst front shock, and that had been replaced, and his times had improved considerably. He was third overall on his debut in the Hyundai, 10.3 seconds behind Sam Moffat.
1 right, and long, 2 left, and 3 left plus. Into 3 right over crest, into crest. 40.
For whatever reason, Josh Moffat is still not totally settled into his Fiesta. Moffat had some in-service discussions with his engineer Tom Gann, and they softened Josh's Fiesta suspension, and he was fourth, 9.4 seconds behind Barrable. Nothing wrong with Fisher's Fiesta, or so he told us, just that those ahead were setting blistering times. Fisher stayed fifth after 8 stages, 8.8 seconds behind Josh Moffat. Stephen Wright had a good time through stages 5 and 6 and was now on a charge, but he couldn't keep pace over runs 7 and 8. And although he stayed 6th, he was beginning to drop away. And who's this coming into view? It's Gerald Donovan and Derek Tobin in their Subaru Impreza R4. And here's the 1982 Irish Tarmac champion John Coyne in his new Citroën DS3, a respectable 18th on the international category.
A step up from the Lotus Sunbeam.
Yes, indeed. Bucket list item, you know. I had to see what these new R5 things were about, and just fantastic. I mean, the car is magic. Brakes, suspension, just so easy to drive. It's incredible.
There was a lot of mud on the road before John Mulholland arrived at this K Wright in the Skoda S2000. The difficulty one faces competing further down the field. Just inside the top 20 after 8 stages, Joe and Richard Connolly in their Ford Fiesta R5. And here's Ed Toomey of Clonakilty Black Pudding in his new Punto Abarth S2000.
Of course, we're in the home of Clonakilty Black Pudding, so there's going to be extra pressure on you to perform here this weekend also.
Yeah, well, look, pressure's for tires, as they say, but no, look, we'll just, if we can get home in one piece, it'll be great. Haven't had much luck in West Cork last few years, so, you know, we'll just try and get her home.
Well, as we can see, Ed and co-driver Sean Hassett weren't holding back. Pressure's for tyres, eh? After a good start, David Guest continues to lead Group N and was lying just outside the top 10 and 12th overall after 8 stages in his Mitsubishi. In R2, for two-wheel drive cars, the leader was the Kerry driver Rob Duggan in his Lions of Limerick Fiesta. We'll see Rob in the World Championship Junior class later this year. And he led Cal McCarthy in his Citroën C2. In the R3 category, the leaders were Andrew Burke and Colin Keegan in their Citroën. In the national category, a new leader in the Toyota of Kevin Eves and co-driver William Lynch. They were absolutely flying now.
And 6 right, 250. And remember at the wall, Kevin, 5 right and 6 left, 60, late 4 left, 130. 6 right, 300.
Second, Gary Kiernan and Ryan Moore in the Escort, but the lead was mere seconds. Brian Brogan, who was totally dominant last year in the national category Escort, slipped to third. Nothing wrong with the car in his opinion, just not going as quick as Eves. Fourth in the Escort, Adrian Hetherington, despite this stall. Damien Tourish was in the hunt with his Escort, but he retired on stage 6 when his car clipped a bank, which elevated the Escort of Patrick McHugh and Warwick O'Donnell into 6th in the national category. Just 2.2 seconds ahead of Kevin Gallagher and Brendan McElhenney in their Darien T90. A real handful, this one.
top, don't cut.
Here's an interesting competitor, the father and son crew, John and Michael Hackett, in a Marcos Mini. John competed in the first ever West Cork Rally some 40 years ago.
I'm sure you've seen a lot of changes in rallying.
Yeah, the changes are enormous. I think the biggest change was base notes. The notes of the commitment with notes is just fantastic. It makes the whole sport brilliant. And the other changes then will be the cars, the safety. The cars back then were very close to standard spec, like a road car, slightly modified. Whereas now every car is specially built.
Before the night stage at Sam's Cross, the final stage on day one, it's time to catch up with the rally leaders.
Well, the daytime challenge on day one is complete. We've got this feature of the night stage coming up. How are you feeling about that?
I'm looking at the mist up here on the hill and I'm wondering, is it going to be foggy on the mountain? Whenever we're driving in the dark and the fog, that'll be some crack. But yeah, let's see. Sure, it's a challenge that we don't normally get, so look forward to it.
Sam, a great day at the office for you.
Yeah, it's been a good enough day there. The last two stages have been very, very challenging for us there. Now we have a night stage to go ahead and hopefully now we can get a big push there and hold the lead overnight.
And so on to the night stage, a demanding run for those still left in the 2017 West Cork Rally. Fans gather at the Four Alls pub. Legend has it, the local hostelry of Michael Collins, the leading figure in the struggle for Irish independence in the early 20th century.
To celebrate the 40th anniversary of the West Cork Rally, the club have introduced this night stage. But will it lead the drivers somewhat out of their comfort zones? Let's find out.
And first through, lights ablaze and through a sea of flashing cameras, Donna Kelly, who shows us what it's like on the night stage in car.
1 right and 2 left at the pole, 42 left through the junction, only 45 left, shiny of wet. 5 left, shiny of wet, and 3 left, 40 over bump bridge.
Kelly carried a 31-second lead into the overnight hold from the Fiesta of Sam Moffat, who pushed hard through the Sam's Cross stage. And out of the darkness into the light, a good day's work for the new Hyundai of Rob Barrable, second to Sam Moffat in R5 and 14.1 seconds behind. Josh Moffat had a moment on the stage when he was flat out over a crest and his Fiesta hit a bank at speed, but the damage was superficial and he was fourth overnight. Alistair Fisher admitted he struggled in the fog and dropped a few valuable seconds. He was fourth in the R5 category now, a minute and 12 seconds behind Josh Moffat. In the National Rally, Kevin Eves was again stunningly fast in his Toyota Corolla to increase his overall lead. Having led early in the national class, Brian Brogan dropped to third at one stage, but after the night stage he was back to second. Gary Kiernan said he only had an average time in the fog at Sam's Cross and dropped from second to third as Breed caught up with Kevin Eves and Rob Barrable.
Well, the night stage was favourable for you, Kevin.
I would have got a run now. I think we start tomorrow 25 up, so we'll see how it goes.
A tricky first day, but definitely holding your own, Robbie.
Yeah, we're happy enough. We're about 14 seconds behind Sam there in line third overall, so yeah, happy enough. Just glad to get through that night stage now and go home, have a good rest and go and see what we can do tomorrow.
So day one done and 9 stages down on this year's West Cork Rally. The leader, Donna Kelly, in his Ford Focus. He's got a 30.9 seconds lead from Sam Moffat, who leads the R5 Championship class. Behind him, Rob Barrable, Josh Moffat and Alistair Fisher, the championship leader, in 5th place.
The end of day one and Donna Kelly have secured that overnight lead, but it's Sam Moffat who heads up the Clonakilty Black Pudding Irish Tarmac Championship at this time. Join us after the break for more action from the West Cork Rally on day 2.
Welcome back. It's day 2 of the Quality Hotel West Cork Rally, round 2 of the Clonakilty Black Pudding Irish Tarmac Rally Championship, held in the beautiful surrounds of the south of Ireland. Many are drawn to its natural beauty, some never leave. But for us, it's the action on day 2 of this year's event and the battle for the 2017 title. Overnight, after 9 stages, it's the World Rally car of Donna Kelly that leads the event in his Ford Focus by 30.9 seconds. No surprise, really, in his World Rally car. It's the battle for the R5 honours that's the really engaging part, as they are the cars and drivers that score championship points. And that battle's being led by the Ford Fiesta of Sam Moffat from Monaghan. Third, and on his Irish debut, is the Hyundai i20 of Rob Barrable. A good start for a car that is fresh out of the box for the Dubliner. In the national class for modified cars, Kevin Eves leads in his Toyota Corolla. Second, Brian Brogan in his Escort, while third in that rally within a rally is another Mark II Escort driven by Gary Kiernan. The weather, however, is not as good as day one as the rains have come, and we catch up with the overall rally leader.
Today's another tricky day. We've obviously very wet weather, and so it'll definitely level the field to the R5 car.
Sam Moffat spoke about keeping his lead in the R5s.
You know, we have 14 seconds there, and it's nothing in tricky conditions like this. One overshoot or anything could cause a lead change there. So, you know, we're going to push hard this morning and hopefully maintain that lead.
Still really close at the top, Josh. Everything to play for today.
Yeah, definitely new day and new tricky conditions out there, so it's all to play for yet.
We know yesterday's stages were tricky, but it looks like today's are even going to be more difficult.
Yeah, certainly very wet this morning. I think the first 3 stages are they're fairly washed out, so we just have to get the tyre choice right now. We have a bit of work to do today. Sam was probably a bit far away, but it'd be nice to get up maybe a place or two.
Donna Kelly and Conor Foley, the first of the teams to leave Park Fermé this morning to go out and tackle approximately 100 kilometres of stages, 6 in total. The conditions are wet, greasy and mucky, so this rally can be anyone's to win or lose.
So 6 stages to be run today, making 15 in total. It's a compressed route for the second day with 3 stages to be run twice at Clogher, Ballinscarty and Rossmore before the finish ramp back in Emmett Square in Clonakilty. Still plenty to play for on day 2 of the West Cork Rally. And onto the action on the first loop of stages 10, 11 and 12, and Kelly found himself under a little pressure as he was 3 seconds down on the opening test. But as he said himself, he got the finger out and was fastest over runs 11 and 12, and by final service he had a lead of 53.2 seconds. Kelly wasn't going to be caught.
40, 5 left down at the lawn and a very long 5 right down, and 6 left through the crossroads, 40 up, a very long 2 right.
Sam Moffat was in form, and on the opening Sunday stage over the 19.6 kilometres at Clogher, he was fastest overall despite the wet roads. But it wasn't Kelly, however, that the Monaghan driver was chasing down. He simply wanted to retain his R5 lead. A good run as well for Rob Barrable, who was a few seconds off the fastest time on stage 10, and he admitted to being on a learning curve with the Hyundai i20 R5. After 12 stages, Barrable was second in R5, 13.9 seconds behind Sam Moffat.
40. 6 right over crest. 60. Only at 4 right tidy. 100. 6 right 100. 6 right over junction into 6 right. Into crest. And 1 left. 1 right.
Pushing hard now, Josh Moffat was lucky to escape a big moment involving an excursion into a ditch on stage 10.
5 left plus 200. 5 left plus? Yeah. 200. Shiny 5 right plus over double crest, okay. 124. Shiny 5 right plus and 6 left over double crest, okay. 180. Line shiny 5 right in over crest, 100. 6 left, 100. Good. 100, good break in the chicane. Right, left entry, 3 bails. Nearly there, 2 pages.
Moffat's Fiesta suffered a bent rear wheel on stage 10 after that collision, but it didn't seem to hamper him, and by the end of stage 12, he was just 2.9 seconds off Barrable.
Josh, were you perhaps pushing a little bit too hard on that opening stage this morning?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that, but we got away with it anyway, so Yeah, we tried to tidy up our act after that, and I think we were quickest there in the last stage, so we're just 2.9 off Barrable now. So.
Alistair Fisher was hanging on in there despite the speed of those in front of him, trying to get the right tyre choice for the conditions. Fisher was fourth in the R5 category after 12 stages, 29.1 seconds off Josh Moffat. Stephen Wright, another of the Monaghan contingent, was also hanging on, hoping to capitalise on any mistake from those in front. He was sixth overall. Joe McGonigal said he was distracted by a flashing oil pressure light that he thinks was a faulty sensor rather than anything more serious. He was in seventh in the Skoda. Welshman Thomas Davis was behind McGonigal in eighth place with nearly 1.5 minutes adrift.
3 left in over crest 200. 4 right at the pillar, very slippy, and long 2 left, don't cut, 180 line.
Brendan Comiskey said he messed up one of the chicanes in the morning loop and felt the suspension was still set too hard, though his Skoda was 9th after 12 tests. Aaron McHale had a puncture on day 1, but he was in the top 10 now in his Citroën DS3. McHale's elevation pushed Porrick Duffy and Kevin Glynn to 11th in their Ford Fiesta R5. In the national class, Gary Kiernan had taken the lead on stage 11, and he strongly reinforced it in stage 12 to lead the field by 28 seconds. Kiernan's cause was helped by the fact that Brian Brogan's Escort ground to a halt on stage 12 Rossmore when the front wheel bearing broke. Overnight national rally leader, but now second place Kevin Eves, said he was struggling for grip with his Toyota Corolla GT, getting no traction over the wet roads, and he wasn't helped by having a stomach bug.
Are you going to challenge Mr. Kiernan for that lead?
Nah, I don't think so now. How we kind of didn't wake up to the races at all this morning. A bit too hard a tyre, and he's kind of, say, 30 seconds ahead of us now. He's kind of totally slaughtered us. So we're lying in second now. Brian's gone, unfortunately. So we'll just try and get round and collect championship points, see how it goes.
You hold the lead now. Can you maintain it?
We hope to go out and have a steady first stage, 19k. We don't want to let Kevin get any time back. And sure, if we can hold him at that, we're fairly confident we'll stay ahead.
Third in the Nationals was Adrian Hetherington in the Escort despite this moment, but he retired the car after 11 stages, which elevated the Darien of Kevin Gallagher, although he lost a few seconds behind Hetherington's slowing Escort. Gallagher now third in the Nationals.
1 right and a 1 left, and a 1 right slippy, 40, and a 1 left 60, bumpy, 3 right.
The Escort of Patrick McHugh and Porrick O'Donnell were now lying fourth and eyeing a podium finish in the Nationals, as they were only 24.2 seconds behind Gallagher with 3 tests to go. Eugene Megan reported a misfire with his BMW in 4th gear, and he was 5th, 10.9 seconds behind McHugh.
3 left past junction, 250. Turn 4 left at the top, 40 into 5 right, remember.
Also through Sean O'Carroll's Escort. His company, plasticbags.ie, sponsors the Southern 4 Rally Championship.
Right, 3 4 bales. Turn 2 left, don't cut, and push hard. 40, come on, push it. And lead 4 right, don't cut. Into line 4 left, don't cut. 40.
And enjoying their West Cork experience, the brother and sister crew, Michael and Sinead Canny, reunited having travelled from Boston and Singapore respectively.
Junction, straight through, 4 left, 5 left, long, 5 right, 6 left over crest. Gathered together in West Cork this weekend from opposite ends of the world.
Yeah, a long way from Boston for me, and I didn't realise I called my sister's bluff, and she came all the way from Singapore, so we ended up down in West Cork here in beautiful weather, looking for a bit of sunburn.
Good luck with that. First time to call notes for your brother this weekend.
That's right. I decided it was worth the trip. As he said, I got the call. Normally I'd be sitting with other people. A bit of a long story as to why I haven't sat in beside him, but hopefully we'll have a good run this weekend and there'll be no arguments, I'm sure.
The junior drivers joined the West Cork on the second day for their 6 stages, but it was an early attrition for the top 3 seeds. First out, having taken an initial second place, was the Peugeot 106 of Eric Calnan. There was also an early exit for Aaron O'Regan's Honda Civic, who led after 4 stages but failed to finish. Also gone after the opening loop of 3 was the Honda Civic of John McCabe, who retired on the juniors' second stage. All of which handed the lead to Kieran Reen and Andrew Cronin in their Honda Civic.
6 right over crest, into 5 right, don't cut, slip is 60, 6 left past the sign, keep the push on, 170 over rough, 4 right.
Second, Mark O'Leary and Bernard Foley in a Toyota started looking a little second hand as we go on car with Jenna McCann and Sean O'Crowley in their Ford Fiesta R2.
Jenna, great to see the ladies represented.
Yeah, we're out for a good day today, so hopefully the weather's not really on our side, but yeah, hopefully we'll have a good run.
What are your expectations for these stages?
Finish them. That's it, just go out and have the crack, you know yourself.
3 stages to go then on this year's West Cork Rally, and the leaders back into service. Kelly may lead, but the R5 battle is still ongoing.
You can't be too complacent at all.
No, definitely not. I'm like the hare. There's 3 people hunting me down here, so just have to stay on my toes.
Barrable was looking forward to the final 3 tests.
This rally will not be over till it's over.
No, that road is so... the conditions are so tricky. There's a lot of shiny tar. And West Cork doesn't give you the feeling if you have a slight little mistake that you could get away lightly. But no, I think it's going to be good. Sam is only 18 seconds from us to Sam, and I think we've only 5 or 6 over Josh, so it'll be interesting.
3 stages to go then. Donna Kelly leads, barring a major mistake. He's not going to be caught. Behind them, a real battle. Sam Moffat in second place, ahead of Rob Barrable, Josh Moffat and Alistair Fisher in 5th place overall.
As you can see, the rain is continuing to fall hard here in West Cork. If the Monaghan man, Sam Moffat, can remain up front of the R5 class, that means he could take the lead in the Clonakilty Black Pudding Irish Tarmac Championship when we leave here this evening. See you after the break.
And welcome back to the final 3 stages in this year's Quality Hotel West Cork Rally, round 2 of the Clonakilty Black Pudding Irish Tarmac Rally Championship. And as we see, plenty of spectators out on the stages on day 2. There's no certainty in motorsport, as we'll see, and there was to be a dramatic end to this year's event, which still had 3 of its 15 stages to run. No problems, however, for the leader, Donna Kelly's Ford Focus. Having seen off the threat of the R5 drivers, he had such a big lead, he was never going to be caught. However, in the R5 battles, there was to be a dramatic turnaround. Josh Moffat, having survived that massive moment on stage 10, was now up to second place overall and leading the championship points chasers.
70, 5 left minus on 5 right shiny exit, 100 to 4 left into turn, sudden deceptive, 3 left gravel, 50, 5 left and 5 right, 30, shiny 3 left.
Alistair Fisher wasn't really on it in West Cork, such was the speed of those up front, but he, like Josh Moffat, was to benefit from difficulties to those in front of him, and he was now 3rd in the Fiesta. Sam Moffat, who'd been 2nd, had a front puncture on his Fiesta and had to stop and change the wheel. That cost him several minutes and meant the Monaghan driver slipped from 2nd to 4th. Unbelievably, Rob Barrable's Hyundai also suffered a puncture on the same corner. There was a lot of mud and dirt thrown onto the road at that point, and that caught Sam Moffat and Barrable big time. The drama didn't end there on stage 14. Another driver to suffer a puncture and ultimately retirement was Stephen Wright in the Fiesta R5. Wright had been 6th overall. Here's Sam Moffat changing the tyre, and right beside him is the Hyundai i20 R5 of Rob Barrable, who'd not continue because of a badly broken brake disc. Amazingly, Stephen Wright then joined the party, and unfortunately, he too ended his rally before the final stages. There was drama as well in the National Rally when Gary Kiernan's Escort blew an engine on stage 13, and Kevin Eves' Toyota regained the lead.
5 right over crest bumps, 350, 350, 2 right at the end. Repeat, 2 right at the end.
Also retiring on the final loop was the Escort of Patrick McHugh, who was 4th in the Nationals at one point as the car was lapsing onto 3 cylinders. Before we move to the overall winners in both the international and national fields, let's run through the class winners, and first to the juniors, where fourth was the Ford Fiesta R2 of Jenna McCann and Sean O'Crowley. Fourth for McCann was good enough to take full championship points,
On the 3 left.
with Eamon McCarthy and Declan Buttimer third in a Honda Civic.
4 right opens into 5 right and 6 left don't cut. 6 left don't cut, 130 up. Turn square right. Turn square right and 5 left. Into 5 right 40.
Second in juniors, Mark O'Leary and Colm Lenihan in a Toyota Starlet. The winners though, Kieran Reen and Andrew Cronin in their Honda Civic. On to the historics, and fourth, Sean Rayner and Declan Deere in a Ford Escort.
Lovely. And 5 right. And 1 right.
Third, Owen Murphy and Anthony Nestor. Second, Ernie and Will Graham in their Ford Escort. But the winners, the Welsh pairing Barry Jones and Ian Griffiths in their Ford Escort Mark II.
The conditions have been wet and slippery. It's paid off for us really. On the night stage we gained a lot of time as we've done many road rallies back in Wales, so it helped a lot.
Class 9 winner Roland Doherty in an Opel Corsa. Class 10 Michael P. Kelleher in a Ford Escort. Class 11F, the brother and sister pairing Adrian and Alison Levis in the Honda Civic, although they did survive a big moment.
1 right here, 200 bumpy, and a 3 right plus at the farm slippy. 3 right plus down here slippy, and 3 left 100. 3 left now 100. You're okay. 3 right.
Class 11R Paul Fitzgerald in a Ford Escort. Class 12 Sean Minahan, son of John Minahan, the rally preparation specialist. Class 14 Vivian Hamill's Ford Escort. Class 15 John Cope in a Subaru Impreza World Rally car. Class 20 John Murphy in a Subaru Impreza. And Class 22 Art McCarrick getting 2 wins in a row in the class in his Give Blood, Give Platelets Civic, and a big moment before the finish.
40. Fast 3 left, go. 6 left. Keep to 1, keep to 1, keep it to 1. You're all right. Good. 130 over the crest.
And so to the national class in 7th, Wayne Evans and John Smithick in their Ford Escort. Just ahead of them, John Bonner and Leon Jordan in another Ford Escort. Ray O'Sullivan and Gavin Sheehan in a Ford Escort were 5th. The Honda Civic of Vincent McSweeney and Michael Kearney were 4th. In 3rd place, Eugene Megan and Sarah Whelan in their BMW. 2nd, Kevin Gallagher and Brendan McElhenney in the Darien T90. And the winner, Kevin Eves and William Lynch in the Toyota Corolla, despite that stomach bug suffered by Eves.
Yeah, it was up and down from starting this morning, 20 lead, and Brian and Gary just took off this morning, and 2 of them was out with mechanical issues, so we're sitting here now picking up the points.
In R3 and 17th overall, Andrew Burke and Colin Keegan in their Citroën DS3. In R2 there was trouble on day 2 which forced Rob Duggan into Rally 2, and he eventually finished 4th. The winner of R2 and 12th overall in the Quality Hotel Citroën, Cal McCarthy and Eamon Dolia. In Group N, 3rd place, William Mavety and Brian Daniels in the Mitsubishi, the top registered Group N crew. In 2nd, Brian O'Keefe and Sean Haid in an Evo 9. And first in Group N and 10th overall, David Guest and Paddy Robinson in the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9.
Yeah, great weekend. It's difficult. Right from the start was difficult, but with a good run. Everything went well. With a puncture in the second last one, other than that, with clear round, so very happy.
And so to the international category, and these the top 9. In 9th place, Porrick Duffy and Kevin Glynn in their Ford Fiesta. 8th place, Aaron McHale, Dara Kelly in a Citroen DS3. 7th, Brendan Comiskey and Ronan O'Kane in their Skoda Fabia. Good run for Thomas and Uric Davis from Wales in their Ford Fiesta to 6th. Donegal's Joseph McGonigal and Kieran Geeney in the Skoda Fabia was 5th. Dropping away to finish 4th, Sam Moffat and Carl Atkinson in their Ford Fiesta. In 3rd place, Alistair Fisher and Gordon Noble in another Fiesta. Elevated to 2nd, Josh Moffat and James Fulton in a Fiesta. Maximum championship points for the Monaghan driver. But the overall winner for the 4th year in a row, Donna Kelly and Conor Foley in their Ford Focus World Rally car.
Are you going to be back here in 2018 taking a flick through the programme going, I want my name on that for one more time?
I don't know, it's a bit early to say, but delighted to have it there now, and obviously somebody needs a hell of a lot of luck to emulate it. You know, when we've been lucky, this event has been so good to us. Done it 4 times, won it 4 times, it's just brilliant.
Well, you proved in that last 3 stages that you are the dark horse to look out for.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, I suppose with Sam getting the flat wheel, it sort of gave us the position. Unfortunately for him, he was on a serious pace all weekend, but I suppose we got the flat wheel in Galway, so we'll take it now if we get it.
Alistair, you probably didn't think it leaving the last service, but still to keep that championship lead after such a really closely fought event.
Okay, obviously, I have to say congratulations to Sam and Robert. They both had a very strong event. Unfortunately, they got 2 punctures there on the first stage out of service. So we've picked up 2nd place points, which really extends our lead in the championship. So we're pleased with that. But a few things to take away from the weekend. But we were pleased to be here.
A dramatic end.
Yeah, got it to be honest. But look, that's rallying, I suppose. That's the saying, and we'll live to tell another tale.
The championship still is wide open and it's going to be closely fought. We know that all year.
Yeah, it's going to be a close battle all year. I have more of a hunger now than I've ever had that's happened, and we'll definitely be going to Clarny to prove a point again.
And so the overall standings in this year's West Cork Rally. Donna Kelly wins it for the 4th year in a row, ahead of Josh Moffat, who takes maximum championship points. Alistair Fisher retains his lead, though, in the overall championship standings. Sam Moffat was 4th, Joe McGonigal was in 5th place. Alistair and his co-driver Gordon Noble retained the overall lead in the Clonakilty Black Pudding Tarmac Championship. They've got 31 points. Sam Moffat's 26, Josh on 25, Joe McGonigal 17 and Brendan Comiskey on 13.
A massive congratulations to Donna Kelly and Conor Foley, who have made history here this weekend. 4 consecutive wins in a row in West Cork. But the drama towards the end of the event saw Josh Moffat take maximum points in the championship, but Alistair Fisher has extended his overall lead. The battle will continue in Killarney, and we'll see you then.